Own iconic luxury items at unreal values with the RealReal, the leading reseller of authenticated luxury from top designers at up to 90% off retail. Every item is authenticated by the RealReal's team of experts, and new arrivals come in daily. New customers receive an automatic $25 off at checkout. Shop in-store, online, or download the app and get 20% off select items with the promo code REAL. TheRealReal.com, promo code REAL. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Today, we also have a fellow podcaster here. We have Alexi Wasser from LOVE ALEXI.
It's me.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for you to be here.
Oh my God, look at this setup. I can't believe it. Where, it's
a video
component. Mm-hmm. There's some cool lighting. You have a proper producer. We videographer here. Yeah. We all have headphones pretty much.
The best part is
we do.
We're all ladies.
And we're all ladies, that too. Mm-hmm. I'm like upset about all the technology and like things I'm doing wrong on my own podcast. No. Anyway, this is
There's
great.
so many ways to do a podcast.
There's so many ways to do a podcast.
Because I've gone on people's podcasts where they're in like Ryan Seacrest style like studios and like glass boxes. And I'm like, this is weird. I cannot imagine like talking and giving someone sex advice and being like, let's talk about my vagina here. Like, it's so I don't know.
This is almost like that though. This is incredible.
Just like inside the Bravo Andy Clubhouse or something.
Oh, see, I feel comfortable talking about vagina there.
Yeah, me too. God, I love all those shows.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know, this is Don't Blame Me. Welcome, hello. You've been here. If not, hi for the first time. So this is an advice podcast, and if you guys want to be an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can email us an audio file at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. So let's listen to some people's life and let's give some advice. And this time it's I love solicited advice.
Hi, Meghan and guest. I'm 20 years old from Canada, and I ended a long-term relationship within the last year. And we both kind of like found our sexuality within that relationship and really like started having sex together and just grew to both like love sex and really enjoy it, and it was good. And after I ended things, I started having sex with other guys, and that was still good and fun, all that good stuff. And within the past 3 months, I've had a fuck buddy, and it's been too good. It's been mind-blowing, and I've really enjoyed it, and it's been fun. But now it's kind of an issue because I'm trying to go back on the dating scene, and every guy that I've had sex with since has just been disappointing. And it's still good sex, and it's still fun. It's just not mind-blowing, and I've just really struggled going back to good sex from mind-blowing sex. And I know that's a really like lame problem to have, but yeah, if you have any advice, I just can't imagine being in a relationship with good sex and not mind-blowing sex, and I just don't know what to do. So thank you.
Why can't you date your fuck buddy?
Maybe she doesn't like him like that. She just likes to fuck him.
We need more information. Sometimes I ever want to call him back and just be like, wait, can you fill in this gap?
All the time. Yeah. All the time I want to. But then there are other times where I'm really glad they're not listening because I'm like, I really lay it in strong.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like I don't know how many people you've been sleeping with, which is like whatever, like
sounds crazy.
No shame.
Just kidding.
But like
shame. Just kidding.
But there's no like you don't have enough of like a pool to decide of. What do you call like a rate? Like you know what I mean?
Or maybe what I was thinking, maybe it's because this person, she doesn't have any like feelings for them, and she's just having sex with them, so she's not putting the pressure on that sex that she's having with other people.
Also, maybe this fuck buddy is a friend, and so you already feel kind of comfortable around them.
Oh, are they a friend? We don't know.
Well, yeah.
Damn it.
I mean, I think like the way, maybe it is like that. Yeah, that you don't have feelings for them, and also because you don't see a future with them, you're kind of like cutting to the chase, and you're not really like delicately tiptoeing and like, oh, this is what I like, oh, let me be cute, like this is like I wear makeup when I fall asleep and I wake up and I'm so pretty and my skin's not breaking out. Like maybe there are other factors of how you're approaching the situation that's making you not get what you want out of the sex as much. Or also maybe that like you just, I think like the best sex is usually with the people that you really care about and you love. And I think like you might have like struck gold with a fantastic fuck buddy.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean like, I don't think that'll compare to like great sex with someone you really, really care about, especially considering, I mean, did she say the other boyfriend, they were each other's kind of first stuff? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think your first person that your first boy, at least for me, like my first boyfriend, who was like also the first person I slept with, like I really cared about him. I really liked him, but like the sex we had was great for it being like my first boyfriend and like my first sexual experiences. But like, if like he was in the running pool of like guys now, I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I think also like comparing that of like, me saying like, oh, sex is better with people that you really like and care about. I wouldn't compare that to your first boyfriend because that is like your first sexual experiences, which I think now that you've had like mind-blowing great sex, I think it's honestly kind of better that you're holding more people to the standard of being great. But also you got to ask for what you want. This guy might have just like, maybe this guy, his like previous partners or whatever are just like your like sexual like soul sisters. If you guys are like his last girlfriend was into the exact same shit that you're into, so it just happened automatically.
Yeah.
But I think you should like ask for what you want, especially in sex, and I think that's how you're gonna get it. And I think you're gonna have mind-blowing sex with the person. Also, if it's a priority for you, like.
Why can't you just date this guy though?
But she might not like him.
Yeah, no, he might be
might be just pure sex.
Yeah. So maybe, and she doesn't want anything though either. She doesn't want a relationship.
Well, she's dating apps now.
Back. Yeah, she said she's getting back and she wants to date people now.
Yeah.
Also, I think if you are actively wanting to try and date people and you don't want to compare them to this guy, maybe don't sleep with this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because I think you're gonna compare any which way. And if you don't have feelings for him, then I think.
Yeah. If you don't have feelings for him, walk away.
Yeah.
Now you have an awareness of how you want to feel when you're fucking.
Yeah.
And then there you go. And then maybe, oh God, is this too old timey? I don't know. If she wants to find a boyfriend, with my boyfriend this time, I did something totally different because I used to be so promiscuous. Mm-hmm. I didn't have sex with them for 6 weeks. I tried this new weird thing, which is like totally, and I don't really like him to hear me saying that because I don't want him to be like, what?
We could have had sex way earlier.
Yeah, how crazy were you before? But, it doesn't really matter. I've slept with people on the first date and dated them for 5 years, and there are no rules to that. But it's like, if she wants to find a relationship, I don't know. Yeah, stop having sex with this.
Yeah, hit the restart button.
Yeah, hit the restart button. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think like sexual compatibility, like I have so whatever. I don't care if this doesn't sound bad. I have to have sex with someone to figure out if I like them.
Of course.
Like I could go on 100 dates and be like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I would rather be like, cool, we went on one date. I wasn't sure. We got to have sex. I need to figure this out. Like I need to get you off. I need to put you in the running or just be done.
Totally.
If I don't, then it'll be like for so long I've been thinking about this. But I would also say like, I think, you can have like an awkward like first sexual kind of experience with somebody, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be bad forever.
Of course.
In that kind of way. So I think also like if you like somebody, but like the sex is just good, not mind blowing, you also have to take the time for them to get to know what you're into. Like the first time that you have sex with like the person you end up with or whatever is not going to be the best time. Like you want sex to continuously get better and better and better. And I think that this fuck buddy is just like the miraculous work of like the girls he's been fucking prior. Like I don't necessarily think, I'm not docking credit on him, but
they just have great chemistry.
Yeah.
They just have great chemistry. Also, I know that sometimes when I've been in love, the first time we've had sex, it wasn't good because I was so nervous and it meant so much. So that's another possibility. Oh boy.
Yeah. I also think I don't want to like, I guess it's not like, but I would say you've also only had, you haven't had a ton of like sexual like experience with like a long haul kind of thing besides this one guy. So I think like this mind-blowing sex, like this probably is not going to be the best sex you're ever going to have in your entire life.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be worried that you're going to trade in good sex for mind-blowing sex, because good sex will become mind-blowing sex with someone that you really care about and who really cares about you. So it just might take a little bit longer, and you have to be like vocal in what you want and all that stuff. And then also if you like are vocal with what you want and some guy like it's not it's not working, like then move along, but don't think that you're not going to have mind-blowing sex.
Good luck.
Yeah, you're going to get this. Don't worry. You're going to get that good
it's gonna,
dick.
It's going to be fun trying.
You got it. And you have a lot of good sex in the meantime. Not complaining about that. Wait till you have bad sex. Oof. Okay, should we go on to the next? I'm having flashbacks.
Oh boy, yeah.
Hi, Meghan. I am 21 and my relationship of 2 years with my boyfriend just ended. We were super deeply in love with each other. We met in our first year of university. He's a year younger than I am, but I lost my virginity to him. He's really the first guy who showed a genuine interest in me, and I showed in him, and we clicked and we were comfortable immediately. He really quickly became my best friend, and we fell in love so fast and so deeply. And for the first part of the relationship, he definitely was way more in love with me than I was with him, but I just took a little bit longer. Because by the end of the relationship, I was more in love with him than he was with me. He ended up breaking up with me this past weekend. I am super heartbroken about it. I just feel miserable all the time, and mostly I just feel angry. I was working really hard on the relationship, and he just stopped. And I'm just so mad at him, and he seemed totally fine through the breakup. We broke up once a couple months ago on my terms, and we both cried while we were saying goodbye to each other. It was super sweet, and it would have been the perfect breakup. And then he manipulated me into getting back into the relationship, and then this time around I had been working on it, and then he came home from a conference and said, yeah, no, I don't want to be with you anymore. So it's been really hard. I know the relationship wasn't meant to last. He had a lot of growing up to do and a lot of anger issues. I couldn't be with him anymore. And he couldn't be with me. We weren't right for each other. I have a lot of mental health problems that he just didn't want to deal with. But he was my best friend, and he was a huge part of my life, and I lost a piece of myself to him. And I just would love some advice on how to get over a heartbreak that took a piece of you with it. I'm really angry, and I want him to know, but I don't want to contact him in any way because that wouldn't be healthy for either of us. Thanks for your advice. I love the podcast, and good luck with your own mental health journey. Bye.
You go first.
I want to give her a hug.
Yeah.
That makes me
I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, take it away.
Well, a bit of it is, you could tell it was really raw. She's fresh off the breakup, but a bit of it is also an ego thing. Cause I like the part where I don't know her, so I don't mean to be cavalier, and I'm on your show and it's all love, a big sister vibe. It's a bit of it was we had the perfect breakup on my terms. Yeah. He cried. That's how I wanted it. Yeah. And then it's this time he didn't seem so sad. This is not what I want. And I'm not that's
so me.
That's me too. Because you're hey, wait a minute. But that's an ego thing. So if you zoom out, which is totally impossible and difficult to do when you're in the midst of a crisis, and I have my own mental health vibe things, or and suffer and feel deeply and tell myself stories that aren't true, blah, blah, blah. I get it, what it's like to be in a relationship and suffering and all that. But if you zoom out, it wasn't working out. She felt the same way. She broke up prior. We're on the path to the breakup. Yeah. And it's a blessing in disguise. And now, believe it or not, and she won't believe it because you need to take time, because only time makes things better. Yeah. But it's opening up something better to come into her life. Now there's room for something more right. And being single is actually awesome and the best thing in the entire world. And take Epsom salt baths and masturbate and hang out with your girlfriends and go dancing and take a lift and go get tipsy and with your girlfriends or whoever, and get on an app and try not to get murdered or what have you. You know what I mean? And then, and so all these exciting things are about to happen. And isn't it cool you met somebody who made you feel anything?
Yeah.
Like you feel something and it sucks, but like just be nice to yourself and something better is on its way. And this is like, it's a reason for this is what I believe. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I so relate to the whole like being angry and wanting him to know that you're angry and all of that. First of all, he knows you're angry. There's no way he doesn't know you're angry at all. And I hate the whole thing, like the best revenge is like succeeding and all of that stuff. But as somebody who actively is like hella salty, hella petty, got some people on a list to ruin their life.
You do?
Oh, 100%. The only thing that has done has then made me feel shitty that I'm spending so much time and energy on someone who hurt me. And I'm trying to control something that I can't control.
Yeah.
Because like you feel out of control when someone hurts you, that you want to make them feel that way. But all that does, that person wasn't hurt in what they did. They hurt you. They didn't hurt themselves in what he did to you. So when you want him to hurt, the only thing that is going to hurt is you, because you're the only one who's, not them saying you're the only one who's hurt in the situation, but like that's, you were the victim of the situation. And I can't imagine how like fucking frustrating it must feel to be like, I ended on my terms. I was fucking done. We were good. Like it was like closing the chapter in like a way that you felt okay with, and then having him manipulate you and only to break up with you. It's like, what the fuck? Like what the fucking point was that then?
Yeah.
It's, to me, that's like a power move on his part of being like, no, now I'm going to take that like balls in my court kind of thing. I think like the breakup is so fresh and it sucks. Like it so fucking sucks to get your heart broken. And I think, time is the only thing that really does heal that. And I think you're right. And something that I like had to kind of like learn to be okay with like heartbreak and stuff is like I was so, and I still am like so picky when it comes to like people in general, like, but especially in dating. My friends would be like, you are literally never going to date, like you're going to never get married, and like because you hate everyone, like you can rule out everyone. And anytime that like something like didn't work out the way I wanted, like my friends would be like, hey, but you liked this person, like remember that, like this kind of thing, like you are capable of feeling this for this person who wasn't good to you up towards the end and it did blow up in your face. Think about how much more you're going to love somebody who actually deserves it and like respects you and like loves you back in that way. And I was like, okay, you're right. But it takes like a fuck ton of time to like realize that like the more and I also kind of think the more experiences and heartbreaks that you have, it's like everybody and this is again just my own philosophy. I think everybody has like a set number of relationships that they're going to have in their life. Maybe that's 4, maybe that's 15, but let's say it's like 3 relationships. Maybe you have no relationships at all, and then you have like you have 2 terrible fucking heartbreaks that are the worst, and none of your friends have those terrible heartbreaks. They just have like flings that are okay and they fizzle out, things that fizzle out. It takes your friends 15 tries to get to the person that they're supposed to be, but it might only take you 2. Like going through those heartbreaks, I think like, it just gets you closer to the right people.
Yeah.
But more than that, it makes you know and understand like who you are and like what you deserve and what you're looking for. And even like a week out of the breakup, like it was last weekend, you already have that awareness that I definitely didn't have a week after. Like a week after a breakup, it was like, I'm the worst. I'm terrible. Like, why doesn't he love me? Like, what's wrong with me? And you're already being like, he didn't want to deal with my mental health, which you said that on a podcast with someone who's like a big advocate. So you know that I'm going to tell you that he's a fucking dick. And that's not like, you don't, again, not that you don't applaud a fish for swimming. Like, that's not like, oh, wow, a great guy who deals with my mental health. It's like, oh, cool, a human. Like, you're not terrible. So I think like you're able to recognize and like that he manipulated you into getting back together with him. Like, you're able to recognize these things that he did that were bad. So I think you're already really on a great page of accepting that like you wish it could have ended differently and on your own terms, and you're like acknowledging your feelings of anger and all of that stuff. And you just like need to like talk about how you feel, talk with your friends about it. If you go to a therapist, I like love therapy, go to therapy. And I think like you need to like grieve the process of this breakup and really figure out from there what's going to make you happy. And I think that should be things that don't have to do with dating right off the bat. Like,
That's
I think
true.
you need to kind of like, especially when you like have been manipulated in a relationship and all that stuff, you need to take the control and power back and not take it from anybody else, but just like take it for yourself, not from anyone.
God,
just
so
do
right.
your own shit.
Yeah.
Like, take control of your life. Like, what do you like? Start a new hobby. Do these other things where like you don't have to report to anyone. Like, no one needs. I mean, like, go do your job, but like you don't need to like. You just do stuff that just you want to do and figure all of that out.
It's exciting.
Yeah. And I think it's going to feel like, when you feel blindsided by something, like it sucks. Like it really, really, really sucks. But in order to, I think, like move on from all of that stuff, I think you need to take the space to like grieve and be sad about it, because like it is something to be sad about. Like, it's not something that you're going to get over in a day or any other time. But I'm a big fan of distractions and like filling my life with like things that I like and that make me happy. So then there's less hours that you have to think about being sad.
Yeah, you've got to control what you put your attention on. What are you going to say?
Amanda just recommended an app called Sanity and Self. It's not sponsored, but it's a self-care app for women. And it has 500 plus sessions from coaches, educators, and therapists in relationships, sex, psychology, emotional well-being, sleep, self-empowerment, breathing, meditation, yoga, running, and a lot of other stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I need that.
Amanda's like really like thumbs up in like very much hallelujah.
That sounds incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm going to download it. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to download it and I'm probably just going to cry.
Totally. Yeah. I keep hearing that where people say, you know, use your ex-partner as a teacher. I mean, like, you know, like what didn't work out? What didn't I get that from him?
I think my number one recommendation from this is, I think if like download that app, do all of that, and like therapy, talk, all of that. I think
lists. What about list making? I think
something that involves you having a conversation with someone or hearing someone else talk about relationships and stuff like that, because as much as like your friends might be awesome, sometimes friends aren't great in those situations.
It's the blind leading the blind.
Yeah. And it's also sometimes like friends are like, dude, fuck him. Like, you're so much hotter. Like, live your life. And it's like, cool, not that easy. Or it's like, fuck your boyfriend. Like, fuck your ex. He's the fucking worst. Like, we're done with him. Let's do this. And sometimes also your friends might have gone through other breakups that's too traumatic for them and they don't really know how to help you and all that. So I think the more that you can lean on like a professional or like an app or anything like that, that's going to be able to like talk you through it so you're not in your head. Because I think that's when we've talked about so much like manipulation and like gaslighting, all that stuff before. What you need to do now is like vocalize, like you said, like vocalize all of those things that when you're manipulating all that stuff, it becomes, you spiral, it gets in your head and you start to think about, you question what's real, what's not, like, is this me? Is this somebody else? Is this, am I bringing this in? Like, what is all of this? And like getting it out there. And sometimes I think with my therapist, some of the shit I'll say, like, as soon as I say it aloud, I'm like, I'm being insane. Yeah. She's like, well, you're not being insane, but like, do you think that that's a real thing? And I'm like, no, I think that. And like, as I say it out loud, I'm like, no, that's insane. Like, no, there's no way that like people think this about me or whatever. Yeah. So I think the more that you should hold, having other people, I don't know, I'm a huge fan of like having people to hold you accountable for being nice to yourself, because I think it's really easy to be mean to yourself during a breakup.
And then try to lose the anger towards him, because he's doing the best he can, even if he's the worst, most manipulative dick.
I mean, he'll get his in the end too.
Yeah, but also like to be loving towards him, it's like even if he's the most horrible manipulative dick, this is where he's at, like in conscious wise, like and that's the best he can do. Let the anger go, because again, it's like she's holding the poison. Her anger is poisoning her, not him. And just be excited about the future. So whenever I go through a breakup or whatever, I like to make lists of like, and get really excited about the future and write lists of like, these are all the places I want to travel in the world. Yeah. These are all the things I want to do. These are all the things I want to get accomplished. These are all the businesses this is a business I want to start, the career I want for my life. And that cliche list that every self-help book tells you to make of like what you want and the ideal partner. And then I like to write it out like, I did that where it's like reciprocal, and it's like you write, oh my God, I wrote out this list. It was like 8 pages, front and back page, like these huge pages with no lines. And it was like I was on amphetamines or something. I wasn't, but that's like my writing was tiny, and it was like, he respects me. I respect him. He loves me, whatever. I trust everything you want in the partner. They inspire me. They've got a huge dick, whatever the fuck it is you want. Yeah. Like, we have great sex. We kiss in public. He's kind, trustworthy, good moral, whatever. Whoopsies. I'm like freaking out up here. I'm so excited about that. I'm going to do this when I get back home. Anyway, but yeah, then you make all these lists and then all of a sudden you're like, it's forward moving momentum.
Yeah.
And then, it just gets you, I don't know. It's like fun to daydream, It gets you out of your head.
No, I think that's a really good way to, I don't know. I'm not like a manifest person, but I think it's a way to get you excited about that and being like, oh, wow, there are some like, look at all these like traits that I want in somebody that he didn't have. Oh, wow, this is cool.
There's another nice exercise you can do. You can write a list of all the things you bring to the table. Yeah. And like, I'm kind, I'm beautiful, I'm reliable, I'm funny, I'm whatever it is. And then it's like write all the things that you bring to the table in a relationship or what kind of person you are. And then it's like kind of nice because I remember I was going through a horrible dark moment where I did this exercise and I went, wow, I'm pretty okay. I can't believe this. And it kind of made me fall in love with myself or feel worthy of love or something in this funk when I was in this weird funk. So yeah, that's like a nice thing she can do for herself. If you're listening, you should do that for yourself.
I think you should. You're going to marry like a Ryan Gosling or like I was going to say Michael B. Jordan, but that's mine. So
it's ours.
We can't share.
Or can you?
No,
maybe you can.
I can't. I can't share. All right. I love him.
So do I, but
that's fine. On to the next.
Hi, Meghan, and Melissa and potential guest. I have a question about how I should address my boyfriend. We've been together for about 6 months. I'm 22 and he's almost 25. I don't know how I should address him about the fact that I think he might have mental illness. He's told me that it runs in his family. His mom has a serious one he's opened up to me about, and he even kind of alludes to the fact that he thinks he might have one too, but he doesn't want to see anyone about it. It's just kind of concerning to me because I do see how obviously it affects his behavior. I think he might have some sort of personality disorder, and I don't know how to address it. He's very hot and very cold, and I know he loves me, and I don't take any shit from him when he does say things that I don't approve of, but I don't know how to address it in a constructive manner to help him. And I feel like when I'm in a situation where he's worked up, I don't know how to calm him down. I know it's not my job really either, but I don't know how I should convince someone to seek help is my real question. I know that's not my job as a girlfriend, and I don't know what it would take to get him to want to address it himself. You need to sing this out loud. I know it sounds like I'm not doing what I should be doing. I don't know. I need your help, basically.
I have thoughts.
Take it away.
Okay, so this is a tough situation. Or she wants to know. It's so kind of you, whatever your name is out there listening, who just called in. You want to bring it up in a constructive way and be kind. I would just say you don't have to say what you need to say. Don't be a people pleaser. I feel like it's like this feminine, irritating, horrible trait that I have that I feel like a majority of my female friends have, where it's like, oh my God, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I hope it's okay. I'm allowed to say this. Oh God, when's the right time? So
I can teach you how to not do that. I don't do that. It's to a fault.
Good.
It's bad. No, it's bad.
Well, to a fault. Okay. Yeah. Well, I've been there too.
But too straightforward.
Oh God. Well, if, like maybe to the girl who called in, maybe in a public place or at a dinner or something, or someplace over coffee during the day, in a really calm fashion, say what you need to say. Maybe write down what you want to say, whether it's along the lines of like, hey, this is what I've been noticing. This is how I feel about it. I care about you so much. I want you to be happy. I don't really know what to do. I know it's not my place, but have you ever thought about getting therapy? Because I just want you to be happier, or whatever it is you want to say to him. But here's the thing, the most important element. I know that when I spiral, not to bring it back to me every time, but just because that's how I can relate. When I spiral or I'm having and I'm lashing out, if the partner I'm with can be calm, even though it's so hard to do, even easier said than done, if they cannot match my intensity or my mood, like if I'm going, what's going on? Oh my God, I need validation. I'm freaking out. What the fuck? Like, and they're not like, it's so helpful when they're not like, no, I'm not. I can't believe it. So calm down. Mm-hmm. If they can just not be condescending, but be like, I'm fine. You're going through your thing. And my God, I mean, who can do this? Yeah. It's very difficult to do this but if you can do this with your boyfriend and bring this up with him and not be reactive and stay as calm as possible. If you need to meditate before you do it, like 2 times a day, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night, have an idea of what the information is that you want to land when you talk to him. Do it in a public place, because I don't know how weird he gets. I don't know what you're saying or what he's capable of. And I just want you to be safe. I don't know if he, whatever. I don't want him to hit you or do anything weird. I'm not saying that you said that, but who knows anymore? It's 2019. Yeah. Just sit down with them over coffee, not alcohol, and just say what you need to say, and don't get reactive and be super calm. And as much as he might try to bait you into an argument, a fight, or if he gets defensive, you don't need to get reactive or defensive or match him in any way. Say what you need to say, be loving, be calm. If he's a total dick, just calmly then get out of there. Then go, hey, I'm still not mad. I said what I needed to say. Yeah. And let me know, and let's talk later when you calm down. But I'm all good, and I only have love for you. I don't know if you guys have said I love you yet, but you can say I have love for you, or anyway, that's what I would do, because that's what I wish people would do with me, just not get reactive. But we're all just people, and it's hard not to be reactive.
Yeah, I think I was kind of like torn on what my advice is going to be while you were talking until you said personality disorder, and I'm obviously not a doctor. Neither are you. No one can diagnose anything. No, surprise. I know. People always think I'm a doctor. So I don't know if you meant a personality disorder, or if that was kind of just like an overarching thing, that like an umbrella to describe, like maybe he's potentially bipolar, maybe he's like manic, maybe there, if it's an umbrella there, or
borderline. He could be borderline.
Totally. Or if you, or if like you specific, or if you meant if you schizophrenic, something, I think, but I'm going to go based off of what you said. So as somebody who struggles with mental health and everything like that, it's incredible. And like, this has been something that's so hard. And like, if you listen, Mats was on the podcast, we talked about how like we both struggle with that stuff. So, but it's hard to be like the partner who has to kind of like hold the other one up when they're not doing well. Like that's so incredibly hard.
We should have my boyfriend on the podcast. That's his job with me.
Oh my God.
It's not fair. It's horrible.
It's rarely my job. And so I think like, first of all, like you are so right by you saying that you don't have to like, this isn't your job, and it's not. And as much as like I've said, like guys should like any person that you date should be like happy to deal with like with your mental health and everything like that. But that's under the condition that you are dealing with your mental health. If you are not if he is not dealing with your mental health, if your partner is not dealing with their mental health, nobody else needs to deal with it, because that's not like it's affecting you and affecting your relationship. So like I've been in relationships where it's like, hey, like even to me, like my boyfriend's like, we go to couples therapy, but he was like, I really think you should see someone individually. And I was like, fuck, this fucking here like sucks to hear. But I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Like that. And that's something that you have to like, if he's at a place where he cares about you and sees that this is affecting you,
he'll start doing the work.
He should want to do the work. And I think you need to, before you even talk to him, I think you need to kind of suss out the situation. I think look at the situation, look at his behavior, look at how he reacts. Is there any part of it violent? Does any part of it scare you? And does he bring up, how often, did he bring up one time that he kind of hinted that maybe there was something up? Or does he bring it up like once a week? Like try and see if there's any subtle things that you can see prior to talking to him about it. Because I think first and foremost, I think that you've been dating for 6 months. And I think his reaction to you saying this the first time, I think is really what you need to go up based off of everything. So if you tell him, I think you should go about it in the sense of like, hey, I really love you and care about you. I think if you're afraid, I would probably do it not necessarily like in pub, like at a park or something, where people are like around but not so close. But if he's not, like if you're not worried about like him being violent or anything like that,
You can stay in the apartment.
Yeah,
totally,
or apartment, or if you've got roommates or something that, where people are still in the house, but he doesn't feel like he's being
controlled.
Yeah, and in public, because I would feel really uncomfortable and being I can't handle this kind of thing in public.
Good point. Yeah,
but but if you're even a little bit worried about any sort of reaction that could hurt you or himself or anything like that, then definitely having people at least, and I think in general, just in the vicinity, the house or wherever, and tell him and be like, hey, this is a really hard thing for me to say, and I have been trying to figure out how to say it. And I really want you to know that this comes from a place of love. But over the last 6 months of us dating, you've mentioned a couple of things that have led me to believe that some of this behavior and ways that you act and stuff might be from dealing with your mental health. And I think it would, and I think it's really affecting our relationship. And I really I care about you and I love you and I want you to be happy, but right now I can't be with you if you're not going to help yourself and take care of yourself. And I think you need to just say that point blank and be like, I think I'm more than happy to go with you if you want to talk to a therapist or if you want to talk to a psychiatrist. I want to be there for you and all of that, but I just want us to be able to have an open conversation, an open dialogue, because I'm worried about you. And I think saying that you're worried about him, at least for me, that's the one that hits that I'm oh, fuck. Okay. This is it comes from a place. It doesn't come from a place of judgment. It doesn't come from anything like that. You care about him. And so you want him to get the help that he needs. And I think if he reacts badly and is totally against it, I say hey, how about you think about it? You don't have to talk to me about it right now. How about we give it a couple days and then tell me what you think? Yeah. And then from there, if he's still not ready to do that, then you need to be done and you need to walk away, because you're right. It is not your job to take care of him.
It's not annoying.
And totally. But I also I would never expect anyone to do that for me. If I was a complete mess and I'm not going to therapy anymore, I'm not going to my psychiatrist anymore, I'm fucking done, I'm not doing this, I would not expect my boyfriend to be oh cool, I'm here for this, is going to be fun. Yeah, I can't wait to watch this roller coaster.
It's abuse. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And it's getting help dealing with mental health it sucks. It's so hard. It's so much pride and you feel shitty and you don't want to do it because it means admitting that you don't have your life all together and you want to figure it out on your own. But it gets to a point where if you're choosing, if someone who you care about and someone who loves you has told you that this is affecting them and they're worried about you and you choose not to do that, it's a self-harm, self-sabotage thing, and being I'm going to hurt myself. I'm not going to get the help that I need and fuck everybody else who's caught in the crossfire.
I think another nice thing to say is, I really want this to work.
Yeah.
I really want this to work. And that's why I'm bringing this up, is because I really want this to work, because I care about you. And then it's a positive kind of spin on it.
Yeah. And you mentioned something about a family history of this stuff. I would not bring that up at all, because he knows if he's mentioned that to you and you've kind of pieced these things together, he's already pieced it together. And there might be bad memories attached to whatever person in his life had struggles with a similar personality or mental health issue, that it was not accepted and was not okay within the family. They might have had a personality disorder and gotten help and it was all great, but maybe they didn't. And maybe there's a lot of shame and I don't want to end up like this person, I was associating bad things with this person because of that. I wouldn't bring that aspect up to him at all. I think really all you can do is suggest and tell him that that you're worried about him, and in order for you to be in a relationship with him, that you really want him to seek professional help. And the only person who's going to be able to help him is himself and professionals. And if he chooses not to do that, you gotta get out. And last thing I'll say before we go on, and we've said this before too, but just to put it here, if at any point that you feel in the process, even if you stay together or you don't stay together, he gets help or if he doesn't get help or anything like that, if you feel he's going to hurt himself or anybody else, make sure that you tell somebody. Mm-hmm. And even if you think that you might being a little over dramatic or anything, if you have that gut feeling or that worry, it's way better safe than sorry to let someone else know about it who can do something. But best of luck. I'm so sorry. This definitely sucks. And yeah, mental health is hard for everyone around too. Yeah.
But you guys are both going to grow from it. It could also be exciting.
Oh, 100%.
You might get help. She's going to stand up for herself and talk about her feelings. Great. Love it. This is great.
Yeah. Okay, guys, it's time for a quick break and we'll be back with more calls. BioClarity is a clean and green skincare brand that has products that just work. I am currently using the Clear Skin routine because homegirl's skin is not happy. My skin has been breaking out, hormones, all of that fun stuff. But the Clear Skin routine is targeted for combination oily or breakout prone skin. And I also will say that I definitely have like patches of dry skin, and I don't find that this dries my skin out at all. It just helps with clearing up my acne. So it's a 3-step regimen. It gets rid of breakouts, clears and calms your skin, and is packed full of detoxifying nutrients. It's also antioxidant and it includes a super special ingredient only in BioClarity, which is called Flora Lux, which comes from plants. So for me, I've definitely seen a huge improvement, especially in hormonal breakouts, because that's like, that's the time when my skin is like, we're dying. So for me, finding products that really work for that time of the month has been absolutely amazing. Their products are 100% vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free, sulfate-free, and artificial fragrance-free. And there's a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. So get healthier, more radiant skin by going to bioclarity.com. And right now, my listeners will save 40% off on skincare routines, plus an additional 15% off everything on their website. Guys, did you hear that? That's an incredible deal. But you need to enter my code BLAME at checkout. So don't forget, go to bioclarity.com and use my code BLAME at checkout to get 40% off skincare routines, plus an additional, that's right guys, additional 15% off everything on their website. Dating is hard. That's a fact. But Lovoo makes it easy. If you guys don't know, Lovoo is one of the best dating apps out there. In fact, it's proven because it just won the User's Choice Award for Best Dating App from Google Play. And not a ton of people love using dating apps. I can testify when I was on them, it wasn't my favorite thing, but people really do love Lovoo. And it's no secret, it's because it actually works. There's no endless browsing through people who aren't serious about dating. If you just want to hook up, guys, Lovoo is not for you. It's for relationships. It's for something a little more serious, but it's also seriously fun. Lovoo makes it easy to break the ice and meet that special someone. If you're tired of mindlessly swiping, which I'm sure you are, then go to Lovoo. That's Lovoo, Lovoo. Download it now on iPhone or Android and get 1 week free of Lovoo Premium membership by using the voucher code GETLOVENOW. Get the dating app of the year with 1 week free with the code GETLOVENOW. That's GETLOVENOW for 1 week free of Lovoo Premium. Get the Lovoo app right now on iPhone, Android, and meet that special someone today. With more than 70 sizes, including their signature half-cup sizes, Third Love designs bras with breast size and shape in mind for a perfect fit and premium feel. Just answer a few simple questions via Third Love's Fit Finder quiz to find your perfect fit in 60 seconds. Then, thanks to Third Love's 100% fit guarantee, you can wear, wash, and put your bra to the test for 60 days. And if you don't love it, you can just return it. And Third Love will wash it and donate it to a woman in need. This is hands down, guys, the most comfortable bra you'll own. With straps that don't slip, tagless labels, and lightweight, super thin memory foam cups. Guys, I'm going to admit it to you. I literally probably have like an entire drawer full of bras. The only one I wear is my one from Third Love. Like Guys, that's it. If you ever see me wearing a bra, you can be like, there's a 99% chance that's what I'm wearing. I am not a bra lover at all. I'm part of the Tiny Titty Committee, so I can usually get away with not wearing a bra. But it's not even just like because I want to. It's also because I find bras so uncomfortable. And my best friend actually has a Third Love bra, and she was the reason I found out about it. And I'm obsessed with mine. I'm like, oh, okay. No, I can wear a bra. This bra is so comfortable. It's amazing. I'm obsessed with it. And if you care, if you wear a lot of like white t-shirts and stuff, they're nude bra, and I have like this light pink one, doesn't show through. And it's like a cute color, and I don't feel like I look really fleshy, you know? Is that a gross word to say, fleshy? Third Love knows that there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they're offering my listeners 15% off your first order. So go to thirdlove.com/blame to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/blame for 15% off today. Okay, guys, we are back from our break and we're going to hop into the rest of the calls.
Hi, Meghan. My name is Kristen, and I am from Canada. I'm a huge fan of your podcast and hope you can help me out with something. I'm 24 and have been in a relationship for almost 5 years. We have a dog and are currently house hunting. I'm personally a patient and open person, and I do know people in their 20s tend to struggle a little bit with being vulnerable, which brings me to my partner. He is 25, and we are in a great place, except for our sex life. I can count on one hand the amount of intimate moments we've had in 2018. Something you should know, though, he struggled with alcohol and drug abuse that I do know he's going to therapy for. It wasn't anything too serious, more so of a situation that when he used to drink, he wouldn't be able to stop and would just stay up all night and all day. He's gotten a lot better now, and I do know that he's been avoiding serious hard drugs for the past 4 years successfully. So I do know that this is part of why things are the way they are now, but I feel like that shouldn't put our relationship on hold, as selfish as that feels. I've tried so many things, asking him in various different ways what's going on, to which he's answered nothing. I've even been very quiet about it for weeks and tried to let him make these decisions, which gave me nothing, and even suggested therapy together. He honestly remains closed off about the topic no matter what approach I take, and almost gets mad when I try to move things forward in our bedroom instead of polite. I'm not too sure how I should approach him anymore, and it's definitely putting a strain on our relationship. I would love to hear your take on it.
Stop house hunting.
Yeah.
Put a hold on future plans until you guys figure this out. I really wish I knew what his response was to you suggesting therapy. Because, I think if he's going to therapy, even if you can ask, hey, do you think there's a time I could go with you and we could talk about some stuff if you don't want to go all the time? But I don't think your request is ridiculous at all. I think that's, it's not selfish. I think no matter what somebody is, someone going through something or anything like that, I think when you really love and care about somebody, you want to be open and honest with them. So, but I'm confused that he gets angry when she tries to be forward. I would say, I think my two instincts is A, he's depressed and he's not telling you, or B, this drug alcohol thing was a much bigger deal than you thought it was, and he's really, really downplaying it. And yeah, that's kind of where my mindset is. Cause any sort of addiction or anything like that, there's a level of not wanting to worry people about that he's like getting the help that he needs and all of that kind of stuff. And if he was not sober for a huge majority of your relationship, that person and his behavior and everything, that's not him. That's him when he's high, him when he's drunk. So if you guys were having sex all the fucking time, maybe he's on a bender. Maybe it's something like that that's affecting him. And because he's downplayed this to you, that it was like, it wasn't really that big. It was just kind of like, nah. As somebody who's dated plenty of drug dealers and drug addicts who I had no fucking idea.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, no clue.
Yeah.
Absolutely no. I never once found out I never once figured it out without somebody saying something and then having it be like a That's So Raven, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it all kind of clicks. So I think that there's something deeper here. Also, if he has like even the way you phrased it, like, oh, he's avoided hard drugs. Avoided.
What do you mean he's avoided hard drugs? I heard her say that, but it's like,
I don't know if that's the word, a word that you threw out, or if he said something like that. If that's his word choice, a little bit weird.
Either way, like we told a previous caller, you're just gonna have to rip off the Band-Aid and say, hey, listen, I'm really frustrated. I want this to work. I love you a lot. We've been together for 5 or 6 years. I can only do so much. I've asked to be in therapy with you. I try to make a move. I want to have sex. I love you. I'm attracted to you. You're coming at me with this attitude. What is going on here? Tell me. There's no more time for bullshit. Please tell me what's going on. Can we fix it? Are you cheating? Are you on drugs? Do you want to fix it? Are you just too much of a, do you just not want to, Is he trying to sabotage the thing where it's like some guys people will do this thing where they don't do anything.
So you do
so
it.
the other person will break up with them because it's like, oh, he wants to be around this like, brutal, horrible energy.
I think your focus needs to be, hey, I want to go to therapy. I want to go to therapy. Because I think if you've been working at this you said you could count the number of times you had sex on like one in 2018.
Jeez.
If that's where you're at, you're like, as much as I wish that she could say that and be like, he's going to tell her, I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to come up front and just say what he's been hiding or anything like that. Definitely not going to
go to therapy. If you won't even talk to her.
But that's the point where I'm like, if you don't want to, like, we have to go to therapy or else I can't do this anymore. And that needs to be it. It's not like not forcing you to tell me anything. I just want to go to therapy because that in therapy, he can be held accountable. You can have these conversations, but you're not going to figure this out between the two of you because you haven't yet. If you haven't already done it, you're not going to do it. You have to get a professional. And if he doesn't want to go see a professional, then you don't want to be in this relationship.
And also a lot of young people that can't afford a professional, they go to the wrong professional.
It's like
dating.
Therapy.
Oh, he goes to therapy. Oh yeah. So maybe she can go.
That's what I mean. Just go be like if you don't want to go to couples therapy, but we need to figure this out. We're not house hunting anymore. We're not I'm putting my foot down. We're not moving forward in our relationship until we have a serious conversation with your therapist or a therapist that we get on our own and we figure this out, because I've been spending an entire fucking year trying to get to you and I've gotten nowhere, and I'm not going to invest more time.
Yeah, it's crazy making. It's a horrible feeling to be so lonely in a relationship.
100% something up.
I think like going back to the fact that he stayed away from hard drugs, that means that he's still doing other drugs. And as an addict, you have to pills, not do anything.
Yeah.
So if he's an addict and he's still doing some type of drug, there's something else going on here.
And is he like the idea of downplaying this, like, oh, he like wasn't had a problem with it, but it's like an okay now. Like, is he going to AA? Is he going to Narcotics Anonymous? Is he going to meetings? Does he have a sponsor who he checks in with? Like, what is all of this?
It's all very vague.
Yeah, it's something that like it's a very like addiction and all that stuff. Like when you talk to somebody or know somebody who's like been through anything like that, like it's very much like it's a personal, it's a disease, it's a personal battle, it's a demon, it's something that's so but affects everyone else around you. But there's so much of like I don't want to ask about that. Like I'm not, because you're trusting in like I'm trusting that whatever you say is what's happening, that this is all these things that are happening. But if all of this is proven from his behavior, either he's depressed and he's not talking to you about it and he's hiding, and he also, if he's going to therapy every week, I promise you that therapist knows what's up and you don't.
Yeah.
And to go talk to them about it, because if he's trying to protect you from something, or he's having these thoughts or these feelings and he's trying to like keep you out of it,
or
he's not
doing
it. He's not doing it. Like he's obviously going through something, and you as his partner, he should want to be upfront with. And it's super hard. That doesn't mean that he like doesn't care about you and doesn't love you. It just means that he's not able to do that right. He hasn't been able to do that right now with just you two. And so I'm not usually one for ultimatums, but it's like we have to go to therapy or else I cannot do this anymore.
Yeah. And then be prepared. It might not, you might break up. It might not go anywhere, but it's like the quality of the life, like of your life. What kind of life do you want to have? It just sounds like so miserable. And he's like sleepwalking through life, and you're tethered to him, and you're in this together. And so now somebody needs to wake up. Like both of you need to wake up. And hopefully he'll take you to therapy, and some honest conversation and communication will happen. But if not, it can just start at, because people hate communicating. People are not good at it and they hate communicating. But yeah, that first step would be, what is going on? This is what's happening. We can even laugh about it. We haven't had sex in 2019. We had sex 4 times in 2018. I don't even care. Let's just fucking talk about it. Can we just wake up? Like, what's going on? Tell me everything. Let's just sit here and have a crazy chat.
I don't think he will. I just don't think I think he needs, if he's going to a therapist, he's used to talking to someone every single week about it. And if he hasn't talked to her about it, with her trying for a year, I think the only way he's going to talk to her about it is with the therapist, because the therapist is going to be like, would you like to talk to her about that? Like,
and then some,
and it'll be a controlled environment.
And
that he feels safe in.
That he feels safe for reaction, that like also her going to therapy with him, and both going to therapy, I think is like a really incredible act of love for the other, for both. It shows how much you care about each other. If someone's willing to go to therapy, it's like, hey, I might have pride, but I'm going to eat my pride because I care about whatever I'm doing, intentional or not, and how it's affecting you. And I want you to be happy.
Yeah.
And I think that the same way he might feel the most supported in therapy with you is, okay, these things that, despite the fact that we've been together for all this time and all that, like the demons in my head have told me that I can't say these things because she's going to hate me and she's going to leave me and she doesn't love me anymore and all that stuff. But if we're in a controlled environment where I know I've been able to say these things and my therapist tells me that I'm going to be okay, we're going to deal with it, I'm going to feel more supported in that space, because it's a space that he feels comfortable in. But I think you need to do it, and you need to stick by your guns of being like, if this doesn't happen, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. Because as much as like 5 years is a long time, it's not that long. Like, it's not like, well, I've put 5 years into a relationship, therefore this was supposed to be my end all. No, that's not. No matter how much time you invest in a relationship, if you get to a point where it's not good anymore and you have done everything that you can, like what do you, so like 5 years versus like an additional like 50 years.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like when you compare it against that, like you're young, you're in your 20s, like 5 years is a long time, but like think about the fact that like and in another 5 years, if you started dating someone else tomorrow, 5 years from then, you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
That's what?
Yeah.
If you can't fix people, I think but you can't fix people, but you have to protect yourself. Like you can't protect anyone from anything that they're going to deal with and go through and all that stuff. But you need to protect yourself in the situation. And it's really hard when someone who you love and you care about is not letting you in and like not letting you help when you really want to. But at a certain point, like that, this is one of those things that like time doesn't heal. You know, if you don't start communicating, once you start the communication process and the like honesty and everything like that, that's a journey. And that is what time will get better at, and trust and all of those things will build. But if that doesn't happen, this isn't just going to go away. Yeah. Let me know what happens. Yeah. If you just want to DM me and you're too afraid to call, I'm not afraid to call back, but if something happens, that's like too, I don't know, like specific or personal that you feel uncomfortable, that because it's him, not necessarily you. But if you feel comfortable calling back, but otherwise just DM us. We'd love to let us know what happens if you need help. Yeah. As somebody who's dated a lot of those. Do we have one more? Mm-hmm.
Hey, Megan. So I'm in a really sticky situation right now. So I'm 17 and pregnant. Me and the father, Brad, have been together for about 6 months. From the start, I never really had a lot of feelings for Brad. I had just previously gotten out of a 1.5-year relationship, and me and Brad met up, and it was supposed to be just a one-night stand. But my loneliness got the best of me, and we've been together almost non-stop since that night. To be pretty blunt, Brad isn't the best person. Most of the time, I despise being with him, and for whatever deep issues I've got going on, I've never been able to leave him. I've tried breaking up with him multiple times before, but I always went back a couple days later. He has no respect for virtually anyone, dropped out of school. Most of the things he says are negative. He has trouble keeping any job because of lack of responsibility, and he gets pushy when it comes to having sex. And still, I had no feelings for him, which I have let him know about. And I have cheated on him because I was looking for someone who could treat me better, because I know that person's out there. Not that that makes it any better. And he doesn't know about that too. When I broke up with him the last time, it was the longest break we had had, and I really thought it was going to last until I found out I was pregnant. I decided to keep the baby, and he's 100% on board. Since me getting pregnant, he has taken my concerns into consideration about respect, getting a job, and being a better person all around. And even my friends have mentioned seeing a change. But there are still things that do definitely need to change. I truly believe that you can fall in love with anyone, so I'm trying to stick around to see if that's true. And of course, I want my baby to grow up with both parents around. I just don't know really what to do, and I don't really know what I'm asking you. I'm just hoping you'd be able to offer some type of advice.
So, okay, first thing, just to get the joke out of the way, no one says you can fall in love with anybody. I think you mean love is blind, but no, you can't fall in love with anybody. Like, there are plenty of people in the world, no matter, you put me on a fucking desert island with them, I will kill them before I fall in love with them. So I think that mentality, you need to wipe. I will also say, I think like it's incredibly like strong and brave to at 17 get pregnant and be like, I'm going to raise this kid. I think that's awesome. And that is a really like, that's not something I would have been able to do at 17, but you making that choice means that you don't need him. Like you made that choice of being like, I can do this, but it's not, you weren't together and married and in love. It wasn't like, we can do this. It was like, this is what I want to do. So you can do it. You don't need him at all. And a kid doesn't need two parents. Parents are a fucking like societal idea of what that is. Like your parents can be fucking anybody. The people who contributed DNA to create you aren't the people who necessarily raise you. If they are, cool, you fit into societal like TV family norms, but that's not always how it works. And it is so much more important for your kid to be around a mom who is respected and loved and valued and sees that relationship and knows that's what I deserve. That's where that's the kind of relationship that I'm going to be in. That's the kind of love that I want. Or that's a fucking badass mom. She is so strong. I want to be like her when I grow up, regardless of who she's with. If he's a stand-up fucking awesome, great guy, then why not? But if not, that it doesn't do anything. It really, really, really doesn't. If you've heard I'm sure you've heard that like kids, like they need a father figure. That father might not be the father figure.
The biological father. Yeah.
At all. And I think like it's so much more important for you to, and like you're so self-aware of like this is the shit that he does and like all like like and you called in and you know what I'm gonna fucking say is you don't need this deadbeat guy at all. And
but he does want to be in the child's life.
Which I think is fine.
Yeah,
I think
that's
nice.
Fine, but he doesn't have to be your spouse
and not at your expense. You don't
whatever.
have to be together, and it doesn't need to be a strain on you. It doesn't need to be like, oh, he's pushy during all of these things that you described.
Oh God,
that can be his character traits, but that has nothing. Then that should not. They shouldn't. That shouldn't cross your path.
Yeah.
Those things that he does, then that's whoever he dates. That's his shit. That doesn't need to affect you and your life because you should not be with him in a relationship like that. If he wants to be in your kid's life, that's awesome. But it's you need to protect yourself, and this isn't like I don't mean to say this in like an insensitive way, but like this there's a lot of teen parents who do not end up with the guy who got them pregnant.
Yeah.
And I think
lot of them.
There's so many. Okay, I'm going to recommend a YouTube channel. This girl, Yasmin Switzer, she is fucking my favorite. Me and Aislinn are obsessed with her. She is a senior in high school and she has the cutest fucking baby, Layla. And she is not with the boyfriend and he was really shitty. It was a pretty bad situation. I'm not going to compare it similar to this, but like an on again off, I feel like we should try and all of that stuff. And she's been through a lot of shit. She's like my inspiration and she's literally younger than me. She's like so strong and cool and self-aware. And I'm like, wow, I want to be you. And she like moved to a new school, all of that kind of stuff, and started dating a guy from our high school. And like, she's so happy and very realistic and being like, yeah, we're really happy. I mean, we're like really young. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this is going to be like a thing, but like, this is great. And it's a high school boy who's cool with dating a girl who's also 17 and has a kid. And that like for the rest of forever, like I have friends who are like products of teen pregnancies and like their parents were like young moms and all of that kind of stuff, who did it single, all of those things. And I think there is, I don't know of a ton of stories of teen parents who got to like this situation where like, oh, and you know what? We stuck together and we finally fell in love and made it work. I think the most important thing that you can do is you need to do what's going to make you happy and be with somebody who makes you happy and somebody who has done all of those things to you. And the way that we talk about people, I think is like so, it's just like it's the same way like when you're like swiping on an app or something like that and you don't want to show, or you're dating someone, you don't want to show your friends like, oh, this is a bad picture, like let me find a good one, and you try and present the best possible version of them for everyone else around you who you care about because you want them to see what you see. But when you call a fucking podcast and you describe this guy as like a scummy piece of shit, you're not trying to like rose-colored glasses paint over this and make this seem like a better situation. Like the only redeeming factor or in all of this is like, well, he's the father of my kid, which like, my God, congratulations on contributing DNA to what I'm sure will be a very fucking adorable baby and like a fantastic part of your life and something that you're always going to like love and be so happy that he was able to like, that's his contribution. But it's not, that doesn't make up for anyone's behavior in the situation at all. Never once said the phrase, I think it's great he dropped out of school, but he doesn't go to your school. And I think the way that, and this is something that I've been heartbroken. The way that you said like your friends have noticed that he's made an improvement, you need to have a sit down talk with your friends and be like, hey, this is the situation I'm in. These are all of the things and how he's treated me. Because to be honest, if it was ever, you said that he got pushy, if it was ever physical, verbal abuse, of anything like that, you probably didn't tell your friends. You probably really downplayed it. You need to be super honest with your friends and everybody in your life and be like, for me, I'm saying this now. It's like what sober you says versus drunk you. Where like sober me is saying this is not what I want. Do not let drunk me like they eat the fucking sheet cake. And it's like, okay, tell people around you, hold them accountable. Be like, hey, it's the same thing I say with breakups. It's being like, hey, you know what? Like I'm doing this. I'm going to like raise this baby. Brad is not a good guy for me. He does not treat me well. If he wants to step up to the plate when the baby is born, that's fine. But until then, he is nothing. He is no more than a sperm donor in the situation. And as my friends, I need you guys to stop talking about him. Don't tell me that he's doing so much better. Don't ask me if I've seen his posts on Instagram. Don't bring him into my orbit and protect me. Like protect me when I'm feeling weak and feeling hormonal, because I will 100% say your hormones are going to make you drawn to him 100%. And say like when I'm feeling that way, answer my calls. I'm going to call you instead. You guys are going to be this buffer around me. So I'm not going to put myself in a situation like that. That can hurt. And it's people holding you accountable, because there is like your brain is warring with itself. There's this part of you that called into the podcast that knows all of the terrible shit that he did. But then there's other part of you that keeps going back, just like you say. And you need to let that part of you that has that like power and control and knows all of that. You need that person to tell the army around you, this is what I need and this is what I want, and support me in all of that. But would love an update. Would love to know. I'm also curious how far along she is now.
Don't update me. I've been too emotional during this entire call. I can't handle any more emotion. Okay.
It is Pisces
I'm thinking
season.
Good thoughts for you though. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay, update me.
Okay. Should we go on to Don't Blame Them?
Yes.
AAA. So this is a segment where? What fucking words? In which? That's what it was trying to be. Oh, she's gonna burp. Yeah, she did it. Where listeners call in and give their own advice if they've been through like the same personal situations on previous episodes.
Yeah, so this is from the episode season 3, episode 9 with Shireen Eunice. And the original caller had a problem because her boyfriend would change in front of her boyfriend and his sister, they like change in front of each other, and they're very adults. Close. Yeah.
It's like an episode of Friends.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That
honestly.
Happens. Yeah.
I keep rewatching it. I'm like, Monica, Ross, stop. This is weird.
But then like somebody goes out with like Jennifer Aniston goes out on a date with her neighbor.
Oh. Huh?
No, Jennifer Aniston goes on a date with her neighbor that she has a big crush on. And then the sister's staying and she's like a knockout bombshell. But then Jennifer Aniston's like, oh, phew, that's just his sister. Until like they're like tickling each other and wrestling. And it's like way inappropriate taking a bath or a shower together.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
It's a good show.
All right. So this is someone calling back with similar experience.
What the fuck?
Okay, hi Megan. I just wanted to talk to the girl. I mean, not talk to her, but I guess address her through this about the girl who had an issue with her boyfriend's relationship with his sister because they're super close. And I have that same exact relationship with my siblings, like exact relationship where we're super close. I change in front of them. We talk about like really like, I guess, intimate things. And honestly, if she is willing to be serious with her boyfriend and like he means a lot to her, I think it's worth her time to just, I don't know, confront this problem. Because speaking from the sister on this end, I mean, I get the being really almost territorial of your siblings because you want the best for them. And I've been in that spot where the girlfriend wasn't very comfortable, but when I was told this, I tried to put it under as much consideration as possible and try to be more aware of it, because if they're this close as brother and sister, they're also they also form really close relationships with people who are important to them. And I tried my hardest with my brothers, and I bet you this guy will also try his hardest with his sister, just to be more aware, because if you're dating someone who is close with their family like that, you are most likely considered to be part of the family as well when you start dating them, and family wants to take care of family. Anyways.
I'm totally uncomfortable.
Wow, no, dude. This is the thing. Like, we've like there are some we have like opposing opinions, like sometimes like all like us in the room all the time. This one like it was kind of similar to the porn one where like we were all on the same page, and then I read the comments. I was like, wait, so we're not all on the same page? So I think I don't know. As an only child, I have a half brother, so no offense. DJ,
I have a half brother too. I never talked about. What's his name? James?
DJ.
Mine's James. But go on. Yeah, sorry.
Cool. No, his middle name's not James either. I was trying to think if that was what the J stood for.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, I don't want to be like, oh, I don't like this is. Yeah, I mean, it's weird for me. So I always.
It's weird. You're
100% sympathize, like empathize with the caller in this, but I think she has a valid point, and I'm glad that like that response is great, because it's a sister who's like, oh, I've been told that and I adjust it, not no, toughen up, welcome, this is what it's like, you have to like be a part of this. So I think that
was a nice call.
I think that's a really good, hopefully people who are like listening to, because also we got a ton of fucking people who are like, this is fine and not weird at all, but there's definitely people like only children who were like, or didn't have like
because I grew up with all sisters, and we do change in front of each other. And someone,
though, right?
But someone else called in, and they said that they like when they were younger, they were just used to changing in front of each other because their parents would change them, and then when they got older, like they never just thought about anything like that.
Can I call my boyfriend on speakerphone? He has a sister, and ask him what he thinks.
What's their age difference?
2 years, 3 years, 2 years.
I also wonder if it's a new, like, because that was the other thing I think we brought up the first time was I didn't know if it was like, we didn't know if it was like underwear or like penis out.
Same thing with that same color I was referencing. The other one, she was like, I'd walk around in like my sports bra and shorts, and I was like, that's not a big deal because I walk around the streets in a sports bra. So
I think it's more of. And I don't even think like, I don't think, I would walk around and don't care.
But half your Instagram is you in a sports
literally
bra.
all the fucking time. If one person in the whole situation feels uncomfortable, that person needs to vocalize it, and then it needs to change. I don't think the person who feels uncomfortable needs to suck it up. And I think I'm really glad that the person who called back in basically said like, no, I did my best to adjust and change all of that stuff. So, because I think like I don't want to shame on anyone like if it's because I really can't relate. I don't think her like the original caller, I don't think her boyfriend and her boyfriend's sister are assuming that she is going to feel uncomfortable. But I think the second like this one, the girl who called back in said, I think the second that you say you feel uncomfortable, that's not their goal at all. They're just like existing, doing their thing. Do I relate? No, but I think as soon as you vocalize that, I think it will change. Okay, well, that is it for our episode. Thank you so much, Alex, for being on this.
Thank you for having me.
Plug your podcast, plug your life.
My God, you guys, it would be a dream. If anybody out there watching, listening, decided they like me in any way and want to be friends, I think you'd be crazy not to be friends with me on Instagram. Find me on Instagram because I'm obsessed with Instagram.
Confidence.
I mean, I just want to be friends because I'm needy and insecure and it'll make me feel better.
You'd be crazy to not want to be.
I mean, just follow me on Instagram, you guys, at Alexi Wasser. I have a podcast I do where I have tangential conversations with people. It's called Love Alexi. It's available on iTunes, and that's it. Instagram and iTunes. Love Alexi.
Love it.
Alexi Wasser.
Fuck yeah. If you guys enjoyed this episode and you want to be in an upcoming one, or you're a caller with updates, any of that stuff, give us a call at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can leave us an audio file at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. That's an email. You would email it, you'd leave it in the email, and then you send it to us. If you want to follow the podcast on Instagram, we're at don'tblamemepod. And you can figure out where else to listen/watch on don'tblameme.show. We are on Spotify now for everybody who is asking. And if you are watching on YouTube, check out all of the listening ways. Hear us in your car, change it up. And if you are listening, go watch on YouTube to see the video version too. And our socials are down below as well. And we will see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Own iconic luxury items at unreal values with The RealReal, the leading reseller of authenticated luxury items from top designers at up to 90% off retail. Every item is authenticated by The RealReal's team of experts, and new arrivals come in daily. New customers receive an automatic $25 off at checkout. Shop in-store, online, or download the app and get 20% off select items with the promo code REAL. TheRealReal.com, promo code REAL.